Hello and welcome to Wild Logic. We're going to start with a passage from the Tao Te Ching, this translation by Stephen Mitchell, and it's the pocket edition. I love this little book. It's number 40. Return is the movement of the Tao. Yielding is the way of the Tao. All things are born of being. Being is born of non-being. Because that's so short, I'm going to read it one more time and let it sink in. Return is the movement of the Tao. Yielding is the way of the Tao. All things are born of being. Being is born of non-being. And here at the bottom of the deck, I found the Wheel of Fortune. And this represents us cycling through being and non-being. And also, we have the Fool, which we're going to translate into the upright. And this is about how we can start anew at any time, because everything is born out of the same substance of nothingness, and everything comes from everythingness. This is beautiful. The next card we have here is 9 of Pentacles. So this way of seeing the world is going to give you this independence. It's going to allow you to embrace your own personal sovereignty. You're going to see things in a new light. You're going to see the connectedness, but also the freedom. The freedom to work independently and move through the world, because as you start to become unattached to any particular circumstance, and this doesn't mean cold to it, it means you're not going to tell a story that you don't want to tell. You realize that you are the writer of your world. And this is because here with the Temperance card, you see this cat pouring wine between cups. You realize how to balance your mind and emotions, because you're starting to see that truly everything is possible, because everything came from nothing. So there is this incredible freedom that you're starting to see even within limitation. Limitation has come from the well of possibility. And you are, with your independence, able to stand in a new light. Here, I'm going to put my lineage stone here with this 9 of Pentacles. And here we have the 3 of Pentacles, and we're going to keep it in reverse, because you are changing the story of how you work with things. There is a new way of coming into alignment. There's a new way of working with the universe. You're throwing out your old map and starting fresh. You're starting over like the Fool. You're ready to let go of the old story and step into the new. And you understand how the world is a mirror to your own mind, because everything you see, think, and feel is a creation of your consciousness. And it is a response to what's around you. But as you start to understand how everything is born and moves, you can start to direct yourself more fully, because you are stepping into this Empress energy. You are in alignment with the ways of nature, with the Tao. And this is just so beautiful. I love the way that this is turning out, because with that Empress energy coming into your life, you are feeding your artist, and you are shifting your way to a new potential. But I'm going to shuffle this deck a little bit and see what comes through. I'm going to move the candle a little bit too. Yes, you are lighting a new path. You are coming into a new balance here. Let's see what, oops, we got a couple cards flipping. So you are going to fall in love with your own story. And this is the good kind of independence. This is the kind of independence that is also aware of interdependence. So it's the kind of independence where you still respect the life and sovereignty of others. In fact, to be sovereign, to have our own conscious identity that is born of self, we have to recognize that others deserve that same right too. You can't enslave or entrap other people and actually be free and sovereign. To hold people down, even in your mind, to trap them in a way of being is a way of mythical slavery, like keeping people trapped, imprisonment. And so you're falling in love with your own story, which is coming from this place of balance. And you are realizing you are a change maker that can make waves. You have this within you. And you are ready to cut the cords of doubt about who you are. And this is setting your soul on fire. And this independence, it's actually, this is the paradox. The Tao and life itself is just filled with paradox if you're willing to see it. By being independent, you are able to be closer to everything around you. By cutting the cords of doubt, you are able to see how connected you are, how the universe moves, and that you were actually the one binding yourself. Sometimes we'll be in a situation, and it definitely is a situation that is empirically difficult. And this reading is not to question any of that. But even in the most difficult situations, there are many ways to move about in them. And the people whose stories we read, it's because they're taking an approach that other people couldn't see. And you're coming into this energy of the Empress who can see the ways of nature. And so you're actually going to be able to move and slip through things in a whole new way. You're going to see these deeper truths where, as much as there are things that are out of alignment in the wider world, when you see and move with the truth of the universe, things can't touch you the same way. Because you are internally free and in alignment. You start to learn how to get out of the way of things that don't serve you, and you are going to use the energy of this black egg, which is speaking the truth. This is the voice coming from a deep, deep knowing. Wow. And we also have the sea serpent coming out. And this is the sacral chakra, creativity. So your voice and creativity are going to be coming forward. And it is because you are here to protect the tribe. This new way of being independent is actually going to give you the power to stand up for people, to be more caring for the collective. And then we have the lion, which is very patient and regal, much like the Empress, right? I'm getting kind of the masculine version of the Empress. where there's this active and receptive that's very much in balance. And here I have at the bottom of the deck, I just cut to this, the cosmic egg, which is healing the fragmentation. So the message here is you within you hold the power to start to heal the collective by unhooking yourself from the stories that you have been told, letting go of those inner doubts, because you're going to start to see that all of those stories you've been told have been based on false beliefs. For example, one of the stories I think about a lot is people are told that, well, it's great that we have everything we have going on now because lions used to chase us around and it was really tough. If you read the stories of the people that actually lived amongst the lions, they had a relationship where the lions didn't mess with the people and the people didn't mess with the lions, because that was not beneficial to anyone. Okay? There was no need for that. People weren't going to eat a lion. Lions weren't going to eat people, because there was a way of nature that was in balance. The reason that lions started to attack the animals and then eventually people is because they lost territory to survive. That's not the legacy of how people and lions lived previously. So what you're seeing now, if you're looking at the world now, if you're looking at things now in a time of incredible imbalance, it's going to tell you a false story, but you're willing to start to dig deeper into the truth of nature. And these stories are going to come forward to you. That story came to me when I read The Old Way by Elizabeth Marshall Thomas, her and her brother spent a lot of time in Swaziland in Central Africa, because their father, he had made a lot of money through Raytheon, and this was just what they did. And so John Marshall Thomas became an anthropologist through unusual means. So he didn't follow the academic protocol that actually dehumanized people. It turned them into subjects, and some of the history of anthropology is pretty dark. So just keep that in mind. But so these siblings actually became very passionate about the peoples that were quite isolated because of the landscape and had not been interfered with. And so and these folks needed these connections from the Thomases, because ultimately there was an infiltration of their space, and their ways were being affected by both global conditionings changing, and then eventually the land started to be, people started to come in, and the Marshalls did help protect them. And it's funny because I never thought about their name so much, the Marshalls being a marshal. So that's the lion. That's just an example of one story that, seems true. I don't want to mess with a lion, but it's because the lions you've met are not, there isn't that arrangement. There isn't that connection. People, lions and people are not meeting in a natural, respectful way at this time. Who wants to be caged? Who wants to be a circus act against their will? These lives that we give ourselves and creatures are, not what we're looking for. And so as I'm speaking, I'm looking up the black egg, and it represents speaking from an authentic voice, the truth. And so this reading is going to be activating for you a pattern of finding truths within your life that are really vital for your next steps. The black egg contains one of life's essential treasures. The truth inside of it resides. No confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies, even white ones. The living and breathing vessel harbors only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or perhaps public speaking. Sound draws us in, books draw us in, the concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself? What is true about the world? And so this is where quiet, calm observation is really important. And letting messages and information come in, along with selecting specific materials that can help reinforce and clarify your understandings. When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear, gossip, or repeat stories to justify our subpar behavior. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. It is available at every moment and every situation. It is the epicenter of truth, the birthplace of our voice. Next, I'm going to read the sea serpent to you. And this is actually interesting because the black egg is the throat chakra and the sea serpent is the sacral chakra, and they have a relationship, the creativity and the voice. The sea serpent is the internal and the black egg is the expressive. Healing emotional wounds, expressing desires is what the sea serpent represents. And here we see this serpent making a circle with what almost seems to be an eye in the middle, which is like seeing our own patterns, our own cycles, we can see more clearly. The sea serpent represents the energy of expression, whether it's emotions, creativity, sensuality, or desire. The sea serpent helps us move and direct our energy into a healthy current. And what I'm getting here is, so we have these desires, and they have been manipulated through false storytelling, through marketing, through advertising, through global media that has warped our understanding of our very basic desires for love, for food, for community, and has given us messages that to get those things, we have to act in a certain way. But it's so like our desires have been warped, and it is time for you, my friend, to start to clear that out so you can fully embody this Empress energy of knowing and truth. That you can't ever feel whole without really knowing who you truly are. And if you are believing false stories, it's impossible. There is a disconnect. So the sea serpent energy is here to help with that. Okay. When the essence of this card is in balance, we express ourselves creatively and sexually without fear or shame. We know what we desire most. Our heart is at ease and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self-judgment and we let the cool waters of forgiveness in to heal our wounds. And again, this makes me think a lot about how we have so many quick, rapid social exchanges that are mediated by corporations. Thinking of social media, even if you have real world interactions with these folks, there is this element of the relationship that's enduring that is on a digital platform that is a business trying to invoke viewership. And that is out of balance because there is a motivation that goes beyond authentic connection. Okay, so our heart is at ease and our relationships are meaningful and enduring. We loosen the grip of self-judgment and we let the cool waters of forgiveness in to heal our wounds. When the energy of the sea serpent is not yet activated, our emotions and creativity are left in muddy waters. And so the thing about anyone acting out of alignment now, including ourselves, is forgiveness is key because we all stepped into the patterns of this culture, and it's something that we all are healing. So no matter how anyone is showing up, know that they are ultimately a part of the biggest tribe, the full tribe, which is what the wolf represents, is excluding no one and letting go. Letting go of judgment is really important here, my friends. And the lion is calm and patient and enduring energy. It is a complete master, this self-mastery that we've been talking about here. So daily meditation and friendship, even with ourselves, is what will bring the lion into balance. So, and this is all leading to this wholeness, this cosmic egg of truth within all of us that we can see in the universe when we slow down and clear our minds. So that is the message for today, my friends. Thank you all for being here. If you enjoyed this content, like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you again. Okay, bye.